Hey, good morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. I got the chat, so if you have some questions or want some comments out there, let me know. Let's get to it. We have a couple of spring-like storm systems, and each one could bring severe weather. I don't expect it to be like a massive severe weather outbreak, but I'll show you the forecast. And at this time of the year in Michigan, thunderstorms have a pretty easy chance of making hail because it's still cold aloft, still supports a lot of ice. So that's what we'll be faced with when we talk about the severe weather here. So let's get you all updated on what's going on. Hey, good morning, Richard Lacassi from Foggy Mason, time of the year. Fire up, Chip, says David Krasminski. Deb Block, good morning from the Detroit Zoo. Good morning, everybody. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. So right now, we have showers right along the border and some spritzels in other places. We'll come back to that in just a second here, but I just wanted to show you that. Let's see. Here's your severe weather forecast. Let's walk through this some. So today, no severe weather. That light green just means general non-severe thunderstorms. This is tomorrow's forecast. So actually, the upper left where you see the light green, dark green, yellow, that's the general severe weather forecast for 7 a.m. tomorrow to 7 a.m. Saturday. And that darker green shows where severe weather is possible. Now, if you look at the lower right, that's the hail forecast, and that's really the only thing in the forecast. So hail is possible in thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon and evening, and maybe again on Saturday, and that hail would be possible from Traverse City to Clare to Alma, southward to near Jackson, and then back in the Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo area. So that southwest and west central part of lower Michigan. And then the storm system moves to the east on Saturday, and the timing is such that the severe weather, the storms could refire in the late afternoon, Ann Arbor, Detroit, Port Huron, and then quickly move on to the east. And so they have at that point, they have a, let's see, where are we at? They have a 5% chance of severe weather there. All right, so radar forecast now. And what we'll see is we'll see an area of showers that's in the right at the southern border right now, move into the southeast and the thumb during the day today. So this is our radar forecast, 1 o'clock this afternoon. So Kalamazoo, Lansing, Jackson, maybe Grand Rapids, you're going to see expanding showers. Definitely Ann Arbor, Detroit, maybe the Saginaw area. We go into the afternoon. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5, 6 o'clock. So basically the story today is showers, maybe a light thunderstorm in the southwest, south central part of the state, moving into Ann Arbor, Detroit, and the thumb, getting pretty wet at times during the late afternoon, early evening, winding down in the mid to late evening for all of us. Elsewhere today, it's generally dry. Traverse City is actually showing some showers around 4 or 5 o'clock. So I guess I shouldn't call it totally dry, but nothing meaningful. All right, then we go into tomorrow. Also remember, I would ignore the freezing rain threat. I just don't think it's there, even though the models are trying to do it. Now we're at noon tomorrow, and the storm system is approaching. And so we get showers and thunderstorms becoming more widespread in the afternoon on Friday, and by late afternoon there could be a line of thunderstorms. So this would be our first chance of severe thunderstorms in this kind of complex thing, and it would be 4, 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the afternoon and evening tomorrow. This is 8 o'clock, and that could signify a line of robust thunderstorms with some hail production. The thumb into Oakland County, into the Detroit and Ann Arbor areas. And then as we go to Saturday morning, this is 5 o'clock and 6 and 7 o'clock. So we have several rounds of robust rain with thunderstorms. And again, the air is still cold aloft, so hail is easily produced. Okay. Let's see here now. Sorry. Oh, there you go. Okay, good morning to Connie Steiner. All right, so longer term. So here is our Friday night. Here's our Saturday. This is Saturday morning into early afternoon into evening. So Saturday is a showery day, a couple of hours of thunderstorms in any one spot. Sunday, a little bit better, fairly dry Sunday, and mild. Note the tropical shirt that I have put on. I got to find the rest in the closet, because the winter clothes are up at the front. I was thinking I even maybe better put my wardrobe consultant, my wife, on alert that we could use some good new Hawaiian shirts around this joint. Getting tired of what I got. All right, next storm system. So this is Monday and Tuesday. We're still expecting a nice warm up if you're ready for 60s. Now, this is Wednesday. And it tries to indicate that there's moisture still around when the front sweeps through and the winds turn northeast. So we do watch this time of the year because it's still very easy to go back to cold enough air for snow. So we'll watch that on Wednesday. The cold front will be through, and then the weather pattern changes. I'm going to say we'll be back to winter by March 12th. And what's notable today is that the stronger storm system next Wednesday has kind of been killed off, and the late week storm has become stronger. And that certainly does happen. But the point is we go back to more March-like storm systems rather than April. And March-like storm systems historically have a snow band in Michigan, maybe a freezing rain or mixed band, and then a rain band and even thunderstorms. So we'll get back into that. We're out to March 16th, March 17th. You're seeing some blues, that's snow. So you should know that probably about March 12th to March 18th is going to be more like winter than spring, and then things will take the next step upward. What about rainfall amounts? So today, Ann Arbor, Detroit, Jackson, Lansing, by evening, could have a ½ inch of rain. And you could always use that. Then the measurable rainfall goes up through Grand Rapids, up into the northeast, maybe a couple of hundreds around Traverse City. Can we stay Detroit for life are to be? Can we say Detroit is done with sticking snow of 1 inch or more? I would not. No, I would not say that, especially based on the fact that there's a winter pattern coming March 12th to 19th, and that certainly has still an easy time for some snow in the Detroit area. So I would not say that. I'd say we're down to maybe 2 accumulating snows possible. All right, now we go through the Saturday rain, and maybe heavier in the northwest, but I think by the time we get to Sunday, most of Michigan will have had a ½ inch to 1 inch of rain. And then we have next week's precipitation, and then we have another storm system after that. So when we continue to run this out, the full length of the run, 15, 16 days, it continues to show a couple of inches of moisture total over the next couple of weeks, which is still above normal. Now, let's look at the temperatures. And remember, you're going to see here, you're going to see temperatures way warmer than normal. Normal now, 35 to getting to 40 degrees in the far south, so 35 to 40. And when we're talking 65 to near 70, we're talking 30 degrees warmer than normal. So today we're in the 40s because of the clouds and the showers coming in. And then tomorrow, Grand Rapids makes it to 62. Kalamazoo makes it to 64. Lansing, 62. Flint, Saginaw Bay City near 60. Ann Arbor, Detroit. You get a southeast wind off of Lake Erie, and it kind of holds you down sometimes. This is the time of year where Detroit and Ann Arbor can be not quite as warm as the rest of the state. Saturday, approaching 70 in Ann Arbor and Detroit. You'll be very, very spring-like ahead of the line of thunderstorms. Muggy almost. Let's see. Then we go to Sunday, near 60. Then we go to Monday and Tuesday when we expect another stronger surge of warm air. So we're well into the 60s, a lot of places on Monday. Here's Tuesday. We're well into the 60s, probably 70 degrees from Lansing, south of Grand Rapids and southward. Probably Ann Arbor and Detroit, close to 70. Here's Wednesday. The front is coming through, and there's Thursday, the 12th. Back to winter, back to about normal, still making it above freezing. So if we get snow, usually the roads by late morning are just wet. And then Friday the 13th in the 40s, 30s to the north, and about 40 on the 14th, and the upper 30s to about 40 on the 15th. You know, maybe a little bit colder weather for a few days, and then I think we'll start to straighten out. So we do have a spurt, a week of winter, normal March-like weather coming. Not what you'd get in January or February, but certainly it'll be a shock, and it'll be a good timing. You know, after several days of 60s, you really don't want that to continue here in Michigan. Otherwise, the fruit trees get way out of whack. Everything gets way out of whack. And then they get whacked by a freeze, we know, that always happens in April. So we'll keep an eye on the severe weather for you. I think the main thing that I can tell you is they could be hail producers. If you got a nice vehicle and you got an empty spot in the garage, I would be parking it in there for the next couple of days when the storms are approaching. You don't have to keep it in there all the time, but as you see a line of storms approaching, get that nice car in. And a lot of people say, well, I've got insurance. I tell you what, it's always a fight and always questionable whether you're going to get what you want on that hail damage, and you usually do not. Take care. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Bye.